After 2 long years, we are racing again in Boise. This is our Tuesday night crit series at the Fairgrounds. This is the 4-5 field. And right at the beginning of the race, I can't even get my Garmin working. To be honest, he blew the whistle and I wasn't quite ready, but here we go. This year, got some teammates. So right there on the right, this is our kit. We ride for a local bike shop, Bob's. This is Micah on the right. And then a little further up the road, we have the homie Wally. So the three of us are working together a bit for this 30-minute crit. You can see the course profile up in the left. There's wind is definitely a factor on this course, especially this week. So right at the beginning of the race, I wasn't paying super close attention. This guy in blue in front of me, I think he just won the race before, and so he was still recovering, and I found myself all of a sudden at the back. I'm going to speed it up here. Anyways, yeah, it gets strung out, someone on the front's pushing, and then I realized that there's a big old gap, and so right at the beginning of the race, second lap, I tell these guys, let's go and burn a match trying to get back up to the front. Yeah, so not the best way to start the race using that much energy to get back up to the front group, but that becomes a common theme through the race. You'll see my match count on the left of the screen here. Also, this week I changed some of my gauges on Garmin Verb, so let me know what you think. I thought this was kind of cool to put the power up on the side. Anyway, bridge back up here. I wanted to quickly point out this section of the course here. It's in the tailwind on the backside, and a really good spot to make up a few wheels if you drop down a little bit throughout the lap. You got Wally here in front of me. He probably goes, I don't know, from 12th wheel to second wheel. Here in front of me is David. He's our sworn enemy. David, and he has one other teammate, Nick, who you'll see later. They're kind of the other team represented, the St. Al's team. Both super strong guys. Both of them spent a lot of time on the front. Here's Nick coming up, and then Micah pulls through and follows that move by Nick coming through. This is the headwind area. It's always good to be on the draft here. David looks back at me and definitely wasn't going to pull through and chase my teammate back up the road. But here comes big hero move by Chris, and he takes the pole and bridges up, and I think, oh cool, free ride. So I try to jump on his wheel and don't really get on his wheel very quick and end up burning another match here really early on in the race. And and in addition to that, I mean, Mike is up the road, so not only did I not get a free ride, but now I'm kind of chasing my teammate, so not super smart. So here's Nick. He's the other St. Al's rider, sworn enemy. Guys, it's the equivalent of like Bloods and Crips. They wear reds, so they're Bloods. We wear blue, so we're Crips. If you're familiar with gangs, or if you're into musicals, it's kind of like Jets and Sharks if you're into like West Side Story. If you're into fast food, it would be like McDonald's versus Burger King. Or into soft drinks, it would be Pepsi versus Coca-Cola. We would be Pepsi because we wear blue. They would be Coca-Cola because they wear red. Vicious rivals. But in reality, both these guys are super strong. Like I said, they spent a lot of the time at the front of the race, and we kind of just tucked in and waited to see if they were going to make any moves. So the other guy that was a bit of a threat is the guy here on my right. You can kind of see his wrist coming into the frame. I don't think he had any teammates. He's wearing that polka dot, white and black polka dot. Anyways, going into this headwind section, kind of funny, I was on David's wheel here. He was trying to grab it. Didn't want that to happen. Gave him a little nudge of the elbow to let him know that definitely wasn't about to put my nose in the wind in that headwind section. That was really important throughout the race. Here, this is actually pretty tactical decision by Micah. You'll see him kind of go up the road on the right, and David's teammate Nick yells out attack, and Nick's in my rear view camera, and so he's kind of boxed in, so he couldn't really make a move there. And David ended up going up and kind of blocking that attack from Micah, and it started getting pretty fast through here. Once again, I don't know why, basically chasing my teammate here, trying to catch that. It was really dumb, Micah. This is the second time it's happened this race. I'm sorry. I don't know what I was thinking there, but anyways, burn match, get back on, for it all to come back together anyways. But definitely should have stayed back and let Micah potentially break away with David up the road. But for whatever reason, there I go again, burn another match. Just trying to catch on to who? My teammate. So Micah, I apologize, man. That was really dumb. So I kind of lost track of what lap we were on during the race. This was probably about 4 to go. About a lap later, this is 3 to go, I'm pretty sure. I didn't realize it was at the time. We come around this corner here. This is that tailwind back section of the course, and I decided to take a flyer thinking that we're getting close to the end. I thought it was maybe 4 to go at the time, but like I said, I think this is 3 to go. Wanted to make it fast, get up to 33 miles an hour. The plan was just to see who comes through, let off the gas and let them kind of take it from there and hopefully string the field out a little bit. So come through this corner, I let off. This guy in the polka dot comes through, and it's kind of funny. He pulls up next to me. I sit up, and he looks over his shoulder at me right here, I think. Yeah, and he just shakes his head. Nah, bro, I'm not pulling. Nick does, and he brings 2 Birds riders with them. So Birds is, I think it stands for Boise Young Riders Development Squad. And these guys are smart racers. They always seem to be there at the end of the race, making good moves here. So 2 to go. We got these 2 Birds riders. One of them flicks the elbow and tells the friend to go ahead. And going into the last corner here, it's Nick and then myself. Birds riders gave me a little flick of the elbow. And then Polka Dot, he gets kind of stuck behind the bird, so he has to make a long, if you're looking at the rear view camera, he has to make a long pass around them. And these guys are young, and so they're not a great draft, and so he comes around them into the headwind and kind of gets boxed out a little bit. So the last lap, it's just me and Nick with a few Birds riders on our tail, and Polka Dot's kind of fading a little bit. So with the last lap, I'm just going to let it play through here. Nick is putting out some good watts. He's taking fast corners here, getting the speed up. So coming into the tailwind straight, I look back, see we have a gap.
Gap, Nick!
Yell up to Nick, let him know that we have a gap, keeping him motivated. I guess Nick thought he could just ride me off his wheel going into the final straight, and to be honest, he almost did. The guy is super strong. I just tried to stick on his wheel best I could. Going into the final corner, burn my last match, come around him, and we got a track meet. I think each of those grunts is at least worth 50 watts. I pipped him at the line just barely. I'm going to slow it down here and kind of break down this last little section. So one thing that happened is Nick took the outside. I was able to come underneath. So my line to the finish line was slightly shorter than his. The other thing that I'd point out is Nick is sitting down, dude. He's not even standing up to sprint, which is crazy to me. And I'm standing up, giving it all I got, and I can barely come around him after he just pulled me around for the entire lap here. So that was the 4-5 race. Right after this, probably had about 2 minutes to go grab another bottle, throw it on my bike, and line up for the 3-4 race. I'll show you that clip right now, a little bonus. All right, so this is the 3-4 race. Jumped in, still out of breath. Took me about 10 laps just to catch my breath. I was in the middle of the pack, probably towards the back, and just getting yo-yoed. So moved up to the front and jumped on this guy's wheel. This is the chicane section, so there's opportunities to get pinched. Anyways, go through the first corner, stay on the guy's wheel, and there's some cones. He swerves last second to come around it. I don't, and smash into some guys here. Luckily, no one went down. I think the guy that I hit I think I busted up one of his spokes pretty good, and then my derailleur cage is jacked. But no one went down after I tried to get back into the race and looked down and realized that my derailleur was grinding, so pulled out. I'll go back and slow-mo it here. So one of the big differences between the 4.5s and the 3.4s, I mean, going through these corners and the 4.5s may be too wide, whereas in the 3.4s, these guys would take corners 3 or 4 riders wide. So anyways, I'm on this guy's wheel, and he comes in and cuts these cones pretty tight. He had the field of view, so he's dodged that one. I barely dodged that one, and then hit the second one just because I couldn't really see around him, and ended up smashing into the homie Blankenship. So sorry about that, man. I know I smashed up your spoke, but I'm glad we didn't go down. Guys, more racing coming up. Like and subscribe. Leave some comments. Thanks.